Hi, welcome you all for the video on measurement of gear parameters. In this video, I am going to discuss on Parkinson gear roll tester, involute gear measurement, and one more is about the pitch measuring machine or instrument. First one, it is about rolling gear tester, or which we also call it as Parkinson's roll and gear roll tester, or Parkinson's gear tester in simple. Here, the rolling test of gears, which gives the composite error analysis. In rolling test, gears to be tested is rolled with the master gear, and this test reveals any errors in the tooth form, pitch and concentricity of the pitch line. This is the fact, economical and accurate method of gear testing. The results of rolling test of gears are carefully observed and conclusions are drawn regarding the angular rotation per teeth, eccentricity as the error, individual tooth error, etc. Further, the principle of this device is to mount a standard gear on a fixed vertical spindle and the gear to be tested on the another similar spindle mounted on a sliding carriage, maintaining the gears in the mesh by spring pressure. Movements of the sliding carriage as the gears are rotated are indicated by a dial indicator, and these variations are a measure of any irregularities in the gear under the test. Alternatively, a recorder can be fitted in the form of a waxed circular chart and records of the gear variation in accuracy of mesh. This is how the gear roll tester works, or the schematic diagram you can observe in this slide. One side it is connected to a gear dial indicator, or in which the measurements are taken. This is the master gear over a spindle is being fixed. In mating with this, a gear which is to be tested is mated and it is fixed on a sliding spindle. The master gear is fixed on a fixed adjustable carriage, whereas the gear under test is fixed on a sliding carriage which is floating, and this floating carriage is in direct connected with the dial indicator. So Parkinson gear tester, it can be used for measuring the variation in center distance of two gears used by error in the tooth form, pitch or concentricity of the pitch line, as I already mentioned. So this again the same thing, where during the measurement the variation in the gear that can be plotted over the paper with the help of dial indicator readings, or directly we can plot it. So this is how, if it is a fully satisfactory, moderately satisfactory gear profile, how it does it looks, and this is the variation when it is observed, then the gear which is tested will be rejected. Construction of this kind of gear roll tester: a master gear or a standard gear is mounted on a fixed vertical spindle, and the gear to be tested is fixed on the another spindle. Both are mounted on a flat base. The spindle of gear under test is attached to a floating carriage. The gears are mounted on two spindles so that they are free to rotate without measurable clearance. Further, these gears are maintained in mesh by using a spring pressure. If the spring-loaded pair of gears in closed mesh are rotated, then any error will cause a variation of center distance. Thus, Any movement of the floating carriage is indicated by the dial gauge, which shows the error in the gear under test. For the working, when the master gear is rotated slowly, a gear to be tested will also get a rotation movement because of their meshing. Errors in the manufactured gear the causes the gear to move away from the center line of the spindle. When on the test moves, the floating body also moves by the same distance. Because of the displacement of the floating body, dial gauge gives the displacement. The variations in the readings could be observed and plotted in the graphical format as we have seen in the last slide. Or in other words, initially by using gauge blocks between the spindle sides, the dial gauge to read 0 at correct center distance. Also adjust the spring pressure and set limit marks on dial gauge. Later, mount the master gear and gear under test on a respective spindles and observe the variation in the dial gauge reading when the gears are rotated. Once the readings are obtained, the variation readings can be observed and plotted in a graphical format, or if the readings are within the acceptable limit, the gear is selected, or else it is being rejected. Further, an electronic recorder is also fitted on the instrument. It shows the variation in center distance in the form of a wavy circular chart. These types of testers are also available for testing helical bevel and worm gas. The accuracy of Parkinson's gate tester is plus or minus of 0.001 mm. The limitations of Parkinson's gate tester: it is suitable for gears for more than 300 mm diameter. Measurement totally depends on a master gear. The errors are not separately identifiable. It provides directly the composite errors. That is, only composite errors in the gears can be checked, not the individual one. Due to friction in the movement of floating carriage, the sensitivity of the instrument uh, decreases, and hence readings are to be taken very carefully. Next is about involute measurement. Involute is a curve plotted by a point on a straight line which rolls around a circle without slipping. Better you refer the design data handbook or design textbook to understand better way of involute, because when you understand the involute, the measurement how it happens can be understood properly. Involute measurement is done by profile projector or by involute measuring machine. The basic principle here in this video I am discussing on based on involute measuring machine. This machine helps to check involute profile of a gear. It simply marks the generating of involute curves of the base circle. That is, the basic principle of working of this machine is that if a straight edge is rolled around a base circle without slipping, as based on by the definition, the stylus of the dial gauge attached above, as shown in this figure, will give an involute. and will trace a true involute. The gear to be tested is mounted on a mandrel, whereas the circular disc of the same size as that of the PCD is also to be mounted on the same mandrel. The straight edge on the disc, which is tangent, rolls around the circle or around the disc, generates the involute, and the variation is recorded by the dial gauge. That is, gear along with the disc is rotated without slipping, hence straight edge moves over the disc and stylus starts sliding along the involute curve. The deviation of the tooth profile from the ideal involute can be seen by the dial indicator. An electronics plotter can also be used instead of the dial gauge for recording purpose, so that better readings or recording of values can be achieved. Next is about pitch measuring machine. Here circular pitch of the teeth measured on a base circle is called as the base pitch, and is measured by different methods, like one is step by step method or direct angular method. What I am discussing right now, it is a direct step by step method. It is a step by step method. One is the fixed measuring tip. This instrument has three tips. One is the fixed measuring tip. Other one is the sensitive tip, whose position can be adjusted by a screw, and further movement of it is transmitted through a lever system to the dial indicator. In the figure you can observe, one is the sensitive tip and the other and one more is measuring tip. Okay, this is the fixed measuring tip. This sensitive tip whose position can be adjusted by a screw, and further this is the screw which is used to adjust the position of the sensitive tip, and the further movement of it is transmitted through a lever system to the dial indicator. And the third tip is the supplementary adjustable stop, which is meant for the stability of the instrument, and its position can also be adjusted by the screw. The distance between the fixed and sensitive tip is said to be equivalent to the base pitch of the gear with the help of slip gauges. Further, the properly set up instrument is applied to the gear so that all the three tips contact the tooth profile. The reading on the dial indicator gives the error in the base pitch. Further, this method is also known as tooth-to-tooth pitch measurement, because here the variation in between successive teeth of the gears are being measured. And the distance between tip 1 and tip 2 is set to a standards using slip gauges. When the dial gauge is showing a readings considered as 0, the machine is then applied to gear under test. All the three tips are made to contact the gear under test, and the reading of dial indicator shows the variation in pitch. Repeat the procedure for the next pair of gate tooth. By that way, the errors in the successive teeth can be calculated. Further, there is two more parameters with respect to the gain measurement. One is about the runout measurement and another one is the concentricity measurement. Runout measurement is it means the eccentricity in the reference of pitch circle. Gates that are eccentric tends to vibrate per revolution, to have a vibration per revolution. An eccentric tooth may cause an abrupt gear failure. That's why the runout in the gears is measured by employing gear eccentricity testers. The gear is held on a mandrel in the centers and the dial indicator of the tester processes the special tape depending upon the module of gear being checked. The tip is measured between the tooth spaces. The gear is rotated tooth by tooth and maximum variation is noted from the dial indicator reading and gives the runout of the error. By that way, eccentricity in reference to the pitch circle is being calculated, which is termed as runout error. Next is about concentricity measurement. It is also important that center about which the gear is mounted should be coincident with the center from which the gear teeth are generated. Otherwise, gear will not function properly. It is also due to the eccentricity of the mounting. The concentricity of the gear, which may be checked by mounting the gears between the centers and measuring the variation in height of a roller placed between the successive teeth. The variation in reading obtained will be a function of eccentricity present and also of any variation which will be there in the tooth thickness. Also, profile checking of the gears, as I mentioned, one is the involute measuring machine. We can check the profile of a gear. There are other two methods. One is using the tool maker's microscope and the tooth displacement method. The profile checking of a gear, it includes when a pair of mating gear teeth acts against each other, rotary motion is produced which is transmitted from driving to driven gear. While these gears have tooth profiles which are so arranged that a constant regular angular velocity ratio is produced. So that's why the profile checking of a gear also becomes very important. So, gear toolmaker's microscope can be employed to check the profile of a gear. Second one by using the involute measuring machine, and third one by the tooth displacement method. Next, we'll move to the errors in measurement. Errors in gear. The possible errors in gear. There are various types of errors or gear errors that can be checked while analytical inspection is being carried out. Further, gears in the manufacturing of errors which is possible in manufacturing of gears or can be categorized under three categories. One is reproducing method, second one is generated method. By this way, the gears being made by manufactured. In the reproducing method, the cutting tool forms the gear tooth profiles by reproducing the shape of the cutter itself. During machining, each tooth space is cut independently on the other tooth spaces. So the various sources of error in the gear made by reproducing method are first one about incorrect profile of the cutter, second one about the incorrect position of the cutter with respect to workpiece, and then third one is about incorrect indexing of the gear blank. Next is about errors due to generating method. In this method, generating method, the cutting tool forms the profiles of several teeth simultaneously during constant relative motion of the tool and the gear blank. So the various sources of errors in the gears manufactured by generating method, or first one is about errors in the manufacturing of cutting tool itself, that is gear hub. Second one is about errors in the positioning of cutter and the workpiece. Third one is about errors in relative motion of the cutter and the gear blank. So these are the possibilities because of which errors is imparted or inherent in the gears. So types of errors, coming to different types of errors are spur, helical, buell and worm gears are as like profile error, cyclic error, periodic error, runout error, axial runout, radial runout, axial runout, or tooth alignment error, uh, undulation error, eccentricity error, or backlash error, spacing, pitch, runout, lead, gate to thickness. First one is about cumulative pitch error. It is defined as the actual length between the corresponding flanks of the tooth in gate teeth not adjacent to each other. Second one is about the tooth thickness error. Tooth thickness error is the difference in actual tooth thickness and measured tooth thickness. Cyclic error. It is an error occurring during each revolution of the element under consideration. Profile error. It is the maximum distance of any point of the tooth profile from normal to the from and normal to the design profile when they coincide at the reference circle. Periodic error. It is the error which occurs at regular intervals. It is not necessary that the interval is one revolution of the component. Next one is about runout error. It is the total range of reading of a fixed indicator with the contact point applied to the surface, rotating surface without axial movement about a fixed axis. In that radial runout error, it is the runout measured along a perpendicular to the axis of rotation. Axial runout, it is the runout measured parallel to the axis of rotation but a specified distance from the axis. Even we call it as wobbling. Tooth alignment error, it is the distance of any point on the tooth trace from the designed tooth trace passing through a selected reference point on that tooth. Undulation, it is the periodic departure of the actual tooth surface from the designed surface. Eccentricity, it is the half of the radial runout in the magnitude. It represents the difference between the axis of rotation and the geometrical axis of the gear. Backlash error, it is the play between mating tooth surfaces. That is the distance which a gear can be rotated to bring its non-working flank in contact with the teeth of mating gear. Further, it is caused by the errors in the gear profile, pitch thickness of the teeth, etc. So here you can see the different types of errors in microgeometry of a gears. Generally, under form gears, it is a profile gear error and lead error occurs. Under location errors, pitch error and runout error occurs. In the profile error, profile form errors, total profile errors, and profile slope error. These errors will cause noises during service or operation. Lead errors which occurs the lead form error or total lead error or lead slope error which have a detrimental effect on load carrying capability, that is load carrying capability will be reduced. Whereas location errors, it is about pitch error, either a single pitch error or accumulated pitch error, or we can calculate about the runouts. These runout or pitch errors in total, they cause problems in motion transfer. So pitch errors or deformation of a gear tooth, these are the causes. So the tooth contact patterns, how it does looks, you can observe it on the corresponding row. Similarly, load errors due to torsional deformation of both the shaft and the transmission case, that also you can observe here how it occurs. Simultaneous occurrence of both the profile and lead errors in the gearbox, modification of the objective teeth. So this is about the end of the module 3 as per video syllabus. I hope I covered almost all the topics as mentioned in the video syllabus of module 3. If you have got any queries, please post your question or uh, mail those queries to my mail ID. I will try to answer those queries. As a disclaimer, I hereby declare that I have used many resources and different textbooks in preparing this teaching material, and I acknowledge all such sources through this video and also thank to those sources. Also thank you all for watching my video. Thank you. Thank you for your patient listen. Further, in the next video, we'll go to the module 4 and we discuss in detail about the module 4, that is about the first stage elements, second stage elements, and the generalized measurement system in the module 4, and also different types of transducers, dynamic characteristics and static characteristics of a system. So thank you. See you all.